Hey everybody, how are you doing today? As you can see, I'm alone. Not really sure where Fritz is today. He said he was going to show up, so maybe he'll be here. I don't know. But one of the subjects we were going to talk about today, seeing how it's Anywhere Friday and Any Subject Friday, we're sitting here at the coffee house. The subject was going to be, COVID, business. How are we dealing with all of this stuff? What's going on? And you know what? Let's just have Fritz come on in.
Hey, that wasn't too bad, right? What? You can't have any fun anymore? Gee whiz.
Hilarious.
All right, let's move this just a little bit. Whoa. No falling over.
Oh.
No falling.
Yeah, that was funny.
We do okay? Did I do okay?
I think you did fine.
All right.
People are gonna see that and be like, what the hell is going on?
It's just us. This is what we do. You should see it. No, you shouldn't. Never mind.
Oh.
All right. So the question posed today, of course, Friday, from Anywhere Friday, and it's your topic. So the question that we're going with today is, how does my business stay relevant now? This is a huge question that we're getting all of the time thanks to this little thing that we called COVID. So we decided that that is a fantastic subject because, well, people are struggling in different ways, right? So maybe the business itself isn't struggling, but the leadership is.
Or the business and the leadership is struggling. In the business world right now, this is what we would consider winter, right? Because winter is usually slower, it's famine, and right now with so much uncertainty that's going on, that's exactly where we're at. We're in winter. Now, there are businesses out there that went through 2008, 2007, went through that whole entire crisis, and were very well prepared for what happened with COVID because they knew and learned from that experience, I've got to prepare for winter. So now you got really two choices as business owners, as leaders, as management, however you want to put yourself or whatever category you fall in. You can either use all of this as an excuse and hide behind it all and let your business fall apart and not lead your employees correctly, or you can step up to the plate and rely on your people and start asking for ideas and figuring out ways to be innovative, creative. How can you capitalize? Use this as something that happened for your business, not to your business or against your business, and figure out how to make this thing grow. There's so much out there. There's so much technology. There's so many ways. This is how new stuff gets created. This is how new niches get created. Mm-hmm. This is how new businesses get created. This is how businesses go vertical. This is how businesses go wide. This is how businesses go deep. I mean, get off your ass and figure it out and rely on the people that you have, because they're probably full of a lot better ideas than you, the owner, or you, the leader, has.
Yeah.
Listen. I mean, how many times I got to say, you got one mouth, 2 ears, 2 eyes, shut up.
That's the biggest part. I really believe that coming to the table with your heart and really listening to what. Now, you've hired those people in those positions because you trust them. You would not have hired them and paid them a hefty salary because you didn't. So stop taking that power away from them when they come to the table to give their ideas. And don't say, well, we've tried that before. We've always done it this way. If you're saying we've always done it this way and we're not going to look at any other options, then you might as well quit. You're just quitting. You're not even, there's no such thing as try. It's just, you are or you aren't. And I know for me in the W-2 world, and you can speak to this too, we all can, anybody that, most people that are listening right now are from that space. But it is so deflating when you are told that you're a part of a team and that everybody's on the same page and everybody's voice matters and we have an open door policy. And then when you go in with a concern, you know, the tables get turned on you and all of a sudden they're scratching their chin and wondering what you're up to or what you see that they don't, or maybe you're overreacting to something, or maybe you're just being emotional. I like that one.
You know, that whole open door policy, I've heard that just about every company I've ever worked for.
Yeah.
And all of them were just lying. It was just
BS.
something to say, because it's something you say.
It feels
none of
good,
them,
right?
Yeah, none of them backed it up with any kind of, listen, we're just going to have a true open door policy, which would be complete humble humility, trust, honor, integrity. I mean, where do you want me to go on the virtues?
Right.
But none of them followed through with that
And
to that level.
having that open door policy means that, you know, truly that person that is, whoever that is above you, you can go to with pretty much everything that Fritz said is total honesty, vulnerability, courage. And as a leader, you need to be empathetic to why they're coming to you and not jump to the conclusion of, I know what they're coming in here for, or I heard why you're coming in here, because everybody likes to open their mouth when they shouldn't. But knowing that is in confidentiality, that conversation is for you two to discuss and to agree on what's going to be brought to the group, because everything needs to be out in the open. But an open door policy doesn't mean everybody pile in and we all throw around all the garbage that we need to throw around and nobody comes up with a solution. Leading into that, don't show up into somebody's office with a problem without a solution, without showing up with, you can come in and complain all you want, but if you're not actively trying to figure out how to better the situation, and if that person is coming to you and you're in that superior role, you need to freaking listen. Because they're coming into it in a totally different space with totally different interactions, especially with customers, than you are.
Well, you listen to customers complain. So why can't you listen to your employees complain? Because I know in customer service, you're taught to listen to the complaint because you'll hear what the customer's truly asking for within that complaint. And they pretty much tell you how to solve it. Yeah. Within that complaint, if you have the capacity to listen, employees they're no different. They're frustrated.
Yeah.
That's called leading with empathy. So I mean, we could go on and on and on and on this, and I could have a whole lot of fun with this because I could get really jacked up on this whole subject.
So let's talk about briefly our soon-to-be first corporate consulting client. They have employees that work directly with the public on a very, very sensitive subject. And, you know, here they are, and they mean well. I think pretty much every company does. I mean, they mean well. They want to hire nice people. They want to hire good people. They want to pay a reasonable wage. But you're paying somebody $10 an hour to talk to somebody they don't know about something that is really sensitive. And even though they're only 2 or 3 minute conversations and, you know, you come and you go and some are happier than others. For one, that customer is going to remember the conversation. And if that employee is not in a safe space with the tools to help them cope with the questions or cope with the attitudes that they're getting in return for something that is not in their control, you will lose that person or you will lose the customer. Because either way, somebody is going to feel like they're not being heard or understood. And then they come in and they show up with expectations on both sides. So, you know, if we can learn to understand where people are coming from and basic human needs and that connection. I think that a lot of these companies and businesses, not just for the small itty bitty companies, this is for huge corporations. I think even more so because you lose that connection and you lose really good communication because everything pushed at you so fast. And so, not just sitting here as a business owner, coming to you as, multiple business owner in totally different areas, some stressful, some not. If we don't take the time to give the tools to our employees and to the people that we trust with our business, we are shooting ourselves in the foot. And that's where On Your Life can come in. It's not just about you as an individual. When we do these things and we have these subjects and we talk about this, we're talking on a much bigger scale. So you can't put us in a box that, oh, this is just for me as the person coming in that needs to be fed, right? We're also talking to the corporations and the VPs and the CEOs that have a huge team, and there's some disconnect and maybe some discontent, maybe mistrust, maybe you've had to lay people off due to COVID, and that employee is waiting. Am I next? Am I next? And how can we empower them? How can we still have a buy-in? And it really comes from you taking the time as a business owner or a corporation or whatever to give those people that you care about, that you've hired, that you're paying to be the face of your business, the tools that they need to mentally be strong enough to go through anything. What do you think?
No, you brought up a lot of really good points, and I think you nailed it quite well. I get so passionate about this that sometimes I get misunderstood as I'm not coming at you business owners or you leaders in a hard way or in a demeaning way. I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned so much from all the companies I've been through that have done it wrong. And with all of the training and everything that Kim and I have gone through and everything that we see and everything that we hear, we know, and I'm not saying this standing on a pedestal, please do not misunderstand this, but we know the path that needs to be taken to get the highest level of production out of people, to have the highest loyalty from your people, to turn the biggest profits from your company, to have raving fans as customers. We know all the paths on how to get there. Mm-hmm. And it's not because Kim and I are the greatest thing since sliced bread. It has nothing, no. And we're not coming with any kind of an ego here. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that we have trained to be outside looking in and not be in it, to recognize the speech, the language, the patterns. We recognize that stuff. We have the ability to break those, recondition new, and allow you, with all of the resources and all of the answers within you, we just bring that out so you can see what it is, and then you turn and have a much better business. And even you may still have a really good business, but it could still be way better. Mm-hmm. And there's ways of doing that. And, that's why I get the way I do sometimes, because I'm so driven. And here, our economic system needs you to perform at an absolute high level as a leader and as an owner. And the reason is because we need those people working so that they have jobs, so that they get paid, so they can in turn come back and visit other businesses that have employees that are getting paid, so that that money keeps flowing and getting injected, so that we have a stable economy, especially in a time like now. So it's almost coming at you with a grassroots effort here of saying, come on, let's do better. Let's figure out together what you need to do or what the business needs to do to grow and expand and bring back your people, or be able to hire more people, because there's a lot of really good people out there looking for jobs right now. Mm-hmm. So that's really what I think my mindset is coming into this whole thing is we need you. We need all of you. And the world needs you. And, you know, Kim and I are just two people, and we can only do so much. So, yeah, I guess I'm asking, step up. Let's figure this out together. Bounce stuff off of us. Reach out to us. You know, let's figure this out on how we can grow our economies and make them stable through this famine period.
Yeah. You know, you could be losing people that are really, really great people just by miscommunication, misunderstanding one another. Eventually, people will just give up trying. Not everybody has that internal, you know, push that some people do. You know, you hear about those people all the time. You know, oh, they went up against adversity and they came out and they did like something amazing that nobody saw coming. And you know, that's where we talk about innovation. And we'll just use us as an example. You know, we had a classroom here at the coffee house, bringing people in, and we were starting this process, and we were getting people involved and excited about being a part of something. And there was strength in that because you were hearing other people's stories, and you finally felt like you weren't the only one going through those things, which is why we're here, to show you that we've been through it too, in one way or another. So when we were basically shut down and you know, social distancing and whatever, we immediately turned and went to, what are people struggling with right now? And what was the struggle? See, we want to overthink everything. We want to way overthink everything. And the struggle really was very simple. The struggle is that people were not in the same location. People didn't have the opportunity to feel one another's energy, to, you know, do you remember just that first time you got to hug somebody after we were kind of released from quarantine? How awesome and emotional and energizing it was all at the same time. Like, you couldn't hardly wait to actually touch another human being. That's because that's how we're programmed to be. That's how we want to be naturally. It's not something that you have or you don't have. That piece of compassion is something that is in all of us. Sometimes it can be beaten out of us. Sometimes we have gone through so many things that we just don't want to try to feel anymore because we're afraid of being hurt again by something we don't even know. So there's fear. That fear keeps us from making the decision, and we're scared to make a decision about that because that's too scary. And we just go down this hole that we can't get ourselves out of. And then we feel like there's no hope. And then we start talking badly about what hope we should have, as if we don't have any more. And we start stacking. And I know we've talked about that before, but it feels heavy. And I know that you can relate to that, when it just feels like you're carrying this pack that you can't take off. And you feel it in your body, you feel it in your feet and your legs, you feel it in your sleep, because you're not only carrying it around all day, but then you dream about it. And your brain reprocesses it all night. And then we put it into that abyss that, you know, the subconscious mind that we talk about. And then we relive it the next day, just in different ways. It's not a conscious thought. It happens in the background, but it's there to remind you of how shitty your day was before. And, oh, by the way, this is probably going to happen again. So I'm just saying. And it was really set up to protect us. But in a lot of ways right now, is we don't realize that we have the absolute ability to change that behavior, to change the thought process. But we have to be conscious to do it. Not just buying the book, getting it in the mail like we talked about yesterday and feeling good about it, putting it on a shelf, we got the t-shirt, we're good to go. Just putting it on a shelf and having it in your house is not enough. Clearly not enough. Because I've got books I haven't read and I felt pretty good about having them. Okay, we have been through this. There's nothing you can't tell us, and that's why we're able to pull you out of your bullshit, because we've been through it. We've tried to skirt it. We've tried to do it a different way, and it didn't work. So when it came time to do this, it was very easy for us because we knew at that moment that it was the connection with people. How do we help them? So we started our lunch hour. We started just setting up a time where people could come in. Okay. Now it's gotten much bigger than that, much bigger. And thank you so much for all of that. And it has grown us. It has grown our ability. It has grown I think our openness to what people are going through on so many different levels. And so this question keeps coming around, especially for business owners. I think because most people, right, are trying to now figure out, with the decreased amount of positions and places available, is how do I fit into this? Because we're not meant to just sit around. I mean, you can soak up that whatever check that the government's giving you. By the way, that's not forever. And somebody's going to have to pay for that. And I'd rather not my grandchildren have to do it. So figure out a way, be resourceful, be innovative, think about what you love to do. You know, we're not meant to just sit still. So as we get these questions about how am I relevant now? I don't even know how to, because everybody's going through all in this shit together. That's bullshit too, because we're not all in the same boat. We're all going through different things. But the basis is really that we're all humans. We all want to come together. We truly all want to help one another. So here we are, trying to help.
Absolutely.
So don't forget, of course, and as always, go to our website, ownyourlifellc.com. Sign up for our newsletter.
Yep.
Because it's coming soon. We're working on final details because we are not going to push out a product that we don't absolutely love and that is not perfectly put together and carry a lot of good information for you. But make sure you sign up for it. And as always, I don't care if you're a business owner, a stay-at-home mom, it makes no difference to me. Stay-at-home dads, because they're out there too, and pretty much anybody who's staying at home with their children, which is pretty much everybody right now.
And it sounds like it's going to be that way for another school year too.
It is. And now is a good time to get a clarity session to figure out exactly what direction to go and how you should process all of this. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. And we talked about it yesterday with depression and things like that. Please don't feel that you're alone. We will talk to anybody. You just got to reach out to us. Questions.
And understand, in that clarity section, we have questions we ask.
Mm-hmm.
And we ask those questions because it helps you and it gets us to a certain destination. So they're strategically positioned and asked in a certain way for a certain reason to help you get clarity in a quick way. So that's really why. So it's not like, it's a coaching session, but it's not like your regular standard coaching session. This is really like the whole aha moment kind of thing.
Yeah, you're not coming on with us and us answering up and going, so what's up?
Yeah, no. It's very strategic.
Yeah, don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to know what to say. No, we got you. We will help you in the process of just opening up. So don't worry about what you need to know what to say. Just go to the website, click on the clarity session, put your name in, find a time, and let's do it. Let's connect. We can't wait to talk to you. It's Friday. You guys have an amazing weekend. We will be back with new stuff next week, of course. And until then, we appreciate you. We have much gratitude for you. And anything else from you, Fritz?
Love you guys.